Hello everybody.
Hi.
My name is Darren.
I'm Graham.
And we have been to the cinema to see a film. Do you remember the film?
I haven't. What have we seen together?
Churchill.
Oh, we've seen Churchill.
Don't laugh. It was a serious film.
It was a very serious
People
film.
died in the war, I hear.
The Great War.
No, that was the First War. The second one wasn't quite as good.
No.
We just call it World War II, like the sequel we didn't need.
Yeah.
The first one was great, didn't need the second one.
No. What would they have called it if it was like even better?
It doesn't mean great like that. It means great like big.
I don't get it.
Oh. Tell us the story of Churchill, as best you can.
Churchill, basically in this film, ends up being an old man. He fought in the First World War, and then he survived it, I guess, because he was in the sequel war, sort of. But he was in charge of the Second War.
All of this is sort of.
And basically, he's an old man now. He's grown up and stuff.
He was born an old man.
In many ways. Now
he's turned into a dog.
He looked like Churchill.
An insurance dog.
And then he grew up to be a young man, and then he grew up to look like Churchill again.
So Brian Cox plays Churchill, and he's trying to stop D-Day happening because he thinks it's a bad idea.
Yes, that's what I was getting at. Like, he's an old man now, and people are kind of like poo-pooing his ideas because he's an old man and stuff.
And ultimately he's wrong.
Like, yeah, he is wrong in the end. But
yeah.
And even though the weather was, like, he was praying to the weather gods and stuff like that, like doing rain dances and stuff like that.
That needs explaining. They said that D-Day can't happen if the weather's bad, so Churchill prayed to the weather gods.
They can't, yeah, it's not like because it's like we were superstitious or anything, it's because of like communications and dropping bombs and stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't because they wanted a nice day out. What? But the boys won't fight if it's not sunny.
Yeah, well, I wasn't there.
No,
But,
could have been. Old enough. Okay, so did you like the film?
Yes.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. Of course I did.
Why is
I liked it a lot.
The reviews have been pretty average, middling.
Yeah, well, it's an average kind of film, but I really liked it.
And why did you like it?
Because of Brian Cox.
That is the correct answer. Because he was amazing. It's kind
he
of
was very, very good.
What's the word? How do they describe those westerns? It's like a revisionist take on Churchill.
Yeah.
Because he's always usually like an icon or a symbol.
Yeah.
You know, like in the King's Speech.
King's Beach.
I can't remember if
we'll
it's the
fight
King's
them on the
Speech or
King's
the
Beaches.
Queen's Speech. Yeah, where he just turns up as Church, whereas here he's like a human who is full of depression and self-doubt, and everyone essentially treats him like an old codger.
Yeah.
She doesn't hate him, she's just frank with him. Frank is who he makes a pass. So did you feel it found the balance between showing him as an icon and as a human?
Well, yeah, that was the point of it, wasn't it?
I was just running out of things to say, so I thought I'd ask you a question.
That was exactly the point of it, yeah.
And do you think it succeeded?
Yeah. If it's true to the history.
Well, I don't know, I haven't bothered checking it. Wouldn't surprise me. It made me like him more.
Brian Cox?
Yeah. I've been listening to the Infinite Monkey Cage podcast today
Stop
with Professor Brian Cox.
Professor Brian Cox.
And I never do. I prefer the actor, because I'm more into movies than fucking science. Who gives a shit? But,
yeah, what's that ever done for us?
Yeah. It's going to happen whether I know about it or not, whereas I have to see the films to experience them. You know, I don't believe in gravity, I'm going to float away. No, don't care. Don't care. Don't waste my time with that knowledge.
That's interesting.
Thank you.
There's people who don't care about like, the stars and constellations and stuff.
No, I like the stars like Brian Cox. That's what I like. What are we talking about? Brian Cox being good?
Professor Brian Cox. You're saying you're warming to Professor Brian Cox, I think. I think that's where you were going.
Well, no, I've always liked Brian Cox because, like, the Professor, because I first learned of his existence because he was the science advisor on Danny Boyle's Sunshine. Then everyone else caught up.
Everyone else, then it became popular. Yeah.
Then it became too mainstream for me. Started talking about science rather than movies.
Yeah. Don't see you as a hipster, really, but...
What are we talking about?
Can't remember. Brian Cox, do we like him?
I love Brian Cox.
Does he paint himself to be an icon as well as a human?
Oh, that's right. I like Churchill more in this movie because Churchill in the past has always seemed to me like a man who solved his problem by throwing lives at it. And in this film, you can... Yeah. In this film, people are like, oh, it's like a bad showing of Churchill because he's like trying to stop D-Day happening, and we like D-Day because it, eventually won the war. That and a couple of nuclear bombs. And I thought that it made me like him because the reason he doesn't want D-Day to happen is because he's so worried about all the people that are going to die.
He's been through it before, like he's seen
not
it
even
all
that,
before.
just that he wants people not to die.
And that as well. That's what I'm saying. Well, that's what I'm saying. He knows that many. It didn't work the first time, so he's saying like, I've seen this happen before.
Yeah.
It's all going the same way. Let's prevent it.
Yeah, but it's mostly he doesn't want people to die
Well,
because of his
that's the
previous
core of it.
experience.
Yeah,
but it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
like he didn't want to happen because of his previous experience.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying he doesn't
Yeah.
want people to die because he knows it's going to happen because he's seen
Well,
it before.
Ultimately, didn't because it didn't. But yeah,
No,
but
but
he thinks. So the
and
so
who knows? It might have been. We might have had less casualties if we did stick to Churchill's plans.
I suspect. Well, we'll never know, obviously. But
I think so.
okay, well, there you have it.
I'm convinced. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't
So
be proven wrong.
So it made me like Churchill, this version anyway.
Yeah.
Because I've always
Brian
disliked
Cox.
him because he just seemed to be like, send some more soldiers over there.
Mm.
Doo-doo, dead. Oh well, send him over there instead.
I wonder if the bit. Sorry to jump in.
No, go on it.
I'll go on it.
Go on it.
Go on it, my lad. I wonder if it's true that he and the king wanted to go on the
went
first
on their
ship.
suicide mission.
On the the
'cause
little...
at one point in the film, Churchill is feeling so useless. He decides he's going to be like
Everyone's
the
just, like,
mermaid on the
ignoring
front of the
him.
boat going into D-Day.
Yeah.
And he's somehow convinced the king that's a good idea. And then the king obviously puts the phone down. It's like, oh, actually, that might
I was a
result
bit
in
drunk
my...
that evening.
Yeah.
Yes, I take it back. I take
Yeah.
it back.
Oh, that Churchill can be very seductive with his words.
Mm.
And so there's the meeting where...
Can be.
spoiler alert. The king basically upsets Churchill by telling him they can't die together.
Yeah, the king's a king's a bitch.
Yeah, it was basically like when somebody puts maybe on a thing on Facebook, for an event.
Yeah.
That was the back. That was the 30s,
Maybe
40s
interested.
equivalent. It's
Mm.
like, I'm sorry, Churchill. We can't die together today.
Yeah.
Because we're both so useless. And I'm admitting this, that the royal family is fucking useless.
Yeah,
We exist
he
as
said
nothing more than,
Just-
pictures and props to encourage people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you got onto the fact that he was talking weird because he had a stutter?
Yeah, I did.
Did you know
I
that,
did.
or did you just take a guess?
I took a guess.
The king, obviously.
The king, yeah, and then obviously the king. That's because he got over his speech impediment in the king's speech,
Yeah.
and then he became, as I joked about previously, but you were talking, I think, the king's a bitch. It's like a little play on words.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Because he bottled it, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
He should have went, I reckon.
Oh, fuck
Because
him.
they won in the end.
They still can, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
Off
get
you go,
over
Lizzie.
there.
Float over to France.
Lizzie? They are all lizards, though, aren't they? This is what they say, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Her second
The
name was
clever
originally,
people.
before the war, was Ard. So
Yeah.
it was Liz Ard.
Oh my god. Elizabeth
Yeah,
Arden.
Prince Philip's in hospital. Oh, we think it's an infection. Who gives a fuck?
He's laying eggs.
One of the
Leave him
world's
alone.
most privileged racists. Hope he fucking
Yeah.
dies.
Yeah, I
if
know,
those
yeah.
nurses got any sense, they'll hold a pillow over his stupid face.
Jesus Christ, Aaron.
Oh, fuck him.
This is on video. This is like...
I stand by my views.
What if the Queen watches this?
Beyond the fact that nobody watches this, I suspect the Queen isn't.
Yeah. Okay, maybe.
Yeah, no, so it's a good film, I thought. Not brilliant. The film isn't as good as Brian Cox. The film's a bit like...
Yeah, the film isn't as good as Brian Cox.
The film is like an ITV drama, I thought.
That's a good way of putting it.
Mm.
Yeah, it was like made for telly. It was like, because wasn't, what's it called? Lady Macbeth, which isn't about Lady Macbeth.
No.
Kind of like that, wasn't it? Because it was like made by BBC. It was like low budget and stuff like
Well,
that. Which was
BBC make films, but I
this
think
one
Lady Macbeth looked like a film.
It did look like a film, but it was kind of like small scale, and
yeah,
the
but-
way she was acting, she was kind of out of time and stuff like that. But which kind of made it a bit more endearing and stuff.
How does that relate to this?
I'm saying this is like the opposite way around. Like Brian Cox obviously elevated it, but the film was still stuck.
You saying
Do you know
that
what I mean?
she didn't elevate the film she was
I'm
in?
saying she was excellent,
She was.
and she was.
In Lady Macbeth.
Yeah. But I'm saying it's they're kind of opposites.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay.
in that way.
Yeah, so Graham is convinced that we would have won a war better had we listened to Churchill, and that this is the opposite of Lady Macbeth, but he wants to keep that as a secret as to why.
I know what I mean.
Okay, as long as somebody does.
Yeah.
What would you give this film out of 5?
It's a solid 3 3/4. Solidly.
3 or 4?
I don't know. 4.
4, really?
Because Brian Cox is just so endearing. He's just nice to watch.
He is nice to watch, isn't he?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You give it a 3, I can tell.
Yeah, I'd give it a 3, but it's a 3 because of him. Like,
You say it should be a 2.
It could have been with a lesser actor, with Timothy Spall playing him, maybe, like he did in The King's Speech. Brian Cox is the first ever Hannibal Lecter. Did you know that?
I did.
Because I told you.
You keep telling me.
Yeah, I know.
Every time he comes on screen, you're like, what's the first Hannibal Lecter?
Well, some people don't know, and I only hang out with you. So people might be listening around us.
You're trying to
I'm trying to
disseminate
educate
information.
my public.
Proximity.
Yeah.
My public. Maybe you should be going to war.
No, it's not for me. That.
See,
Not for me.
Nah.
I'm not racist enough.
No.
Oh well.
During peacetime and all that.
Yeah.
I was going to make a point, but I can't remember. Do you think it should have been in black and white?
No, but why? Maybe it would have made it look a bit more cinematic, but go on.
Cinematic? I don't know. I was just thinking, like, well, they've obviously... It could have been done that way.
But they're trying to modernise him, aren't they? By making him seem like an actual human rather than...
Are they, though? Or is that just through, through the fact that he is just being a human character? Like, it's written to be him as a human.
Well, yeah, but he's written to be a human character so they can humanise him.
No, but that's I'm talking about, like, the filming style and stuff like that.
The film.
Yeah. No, but what I'm saying is that if you were to make it like a period drama, which kind of was, which it kind of was, you might have done it black and white because then obviously you've got like we're looking into the past in that case, but we're not because as you say, it's like a revisionist thing. So you see it just if you look at black and white photos, right, which have been colorized, have you seen them?
Yeah,
you've seen them.
Well, they're all weird colors. Everything's a bit wrong.
No, because they're the ones that have usually been done through there's like a method of photography and stuff like that.
Almost 11 minutes.
But I'm talking about people who go into like Photoshop and recolor them.
Oh right.
To realistic colours.
Right.
Have you ever seen any of them?
Yeah, they still never look perfect.
They never look exactly right or whatever, but it gives them life, doesn't it?
What's that got to do with this?
I'm saying you're humanising Churchill not only because of obviously the writing, but because of the film and style. And I'm saying the demographic for this film is obviously old people.
In fact, most films set in the past aren't filmed in black and white.
No, I'm saying you could have had it black and white, because obviously for this kind of.
Why?
Because obviously it was set in that time, and it was
right.
It might have been a stylistic choice to put it in black and white to kind of give it that kind of feel of the time, and obviously old people.
But it did feel like it was set in that time because of all the war.
Yeah, it did. But I think like if it was in black and white, it wouldn't look out of place there.
It wouldn't look out of place. No,
because you obviously got the demographic. The demographic of people who are most likely to watch it, which is old people who are around
they
around
were
the
all
time.
there anyway, as I pointed out, based on the row in front of us.
Yeah, but they don't know. They don't know what it was. They remember what it was like in colour.
Well, they remember it in colour, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So why do we now want to convince them it happened in black and white?
So I'm just saying, like, it might have been black and white to appeal to modern audiences, to younger people.
You think that younger people are more likely to go and see
a
black and white film?
No, not more likely. I'm saying that it's more of a natural like watching Public Enemies, right? I know it's all filmed like digital and stuff, and it's really obvious.
Things all these
and
days,
it feels like it's a EastEnders and stuff like that. It's really kind of like
EastEnders,
sharp.
But you've watched a high class quality of EastEnders compared to what I watched.
But the point is, it just feels out of place for the time.
You think that the Churchill being filmed in colour felt out of place for the time?
No, I'm saying it could have been in black and white to help the feel of like being in the past, to appeal to modern viewers. Want that?
Why would that appeal to modern viewers?
Well, that was the choice. The choice wasn't. What do you mean?
Why would it appeal?
Well, the demographic is clearly like 80 plus, it's like 70 plus. Because it was. We saw
we're not.
No, we're not. But we're film cinema goers.
So hang on. So
but most of the people in there.
Why do you think it should have been filmed in black and white? Keep it to a simple sentence.
I'm not saying it should have been.
Well, why are you talking about it?
I'm saying it was interesting that it was in colour.
Why? Give me a sentence as to why.
To appeal to the older generations.
You think it was in colour to appeal to the older generations? Because black and white appeals to the younger generations.
No, because it'd feel more cinematic, as you say, and natural for. But they're going to remember.
But old people
are going to remember it back in the day as colour. Old people
remember black and white films as well.
No, I'm not talking about remembering black and white films. I'm saying they're going to remember him from the time as being in colour.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Even though newspapers were in black and white. No.
Write down on paper what you want to say to me.
I will next time.
Okay, and post it to me.
I wanted to make another point. Can I make another point?
Yeah, go on.
Did you like how you didn't see any war?
I suppose, because you saw it all from his point of view, and he was feeling useless because he wasn't on the front lines. Yeah. So we didn't see any war.
That was it.
Okay, it's better than your other point. Bye, everyone.
Bye.